Hi foodies, how you doing? Hope you're nice and warm wherever you are. As for me, it is cold outside and nothing beats that like a nice bowl of soup. I did some rich pumpkin soup and it has some cow skin in there. Yes, in Jamaica, we do use cow skin a lot. So I made this delicious soup and I'm going to share it with you. All right, let's get started. So the cow skin, guys, it is burnt and that just helps to remove some of the hair. It helps with cleansing. It gives it flavor. You can scrape off some of the burnt part, of the skin if you want to. And I rinsed it several times. But aside from the cow skin, I do have some beef bones here and a little pieces of beef too that I had in the freezer. So it's cow skin, some beef bones, because you get flavor from that, right? And a little piece of beef. So what I'm gonna do, guys, is pressure cook the cow skin because it takes a while to cook. So I have water, salt, and garlic, and I pressure cook this for about 40 minutes. And if you want to, you could add the beef to the pressure cooker if you're using a lot, but I just have a very tiny piece and some beef bones, okay? So while this pressure cooks, I'll just show you these. So what I have here, guys, is some scallion, some garlic, and allspice berries, pimento. All right. And then over here, I have a lot of carrots and a lot of pumpkin because I want this soup to be very rich. So that's just cubed, chopped up, diced, whatever you want to call it. So just cut it up so that it can cook easily. And here I have the beef bones and, some tiny pieces of beef. So what we'll do is we are going to cook all of these together. So bring that water to a boil, add the beef bones, add the pumpkin and the carrot, and you can add the garlic and the thyme and the pimento. We'll season up the pot some more later. This is just a little, a layer of flavor we're starting with. So we want to boil this and allow the pumpkin to cook, and then it's gonna add color and flavor to the soup, and it's gonna mash out and make the soup nice and rich. So cover up your pot and allow that to cook. So we have some of the usuals, that we use in Jamaican soup. We have our Irish potato and some yellow yam here, and I have my dumpling. The dumpling is just flour, water, and salt kneaded into a dough, and we just break off a piece. You can roll it into a disc or a ball. You can do spinners. So you just pinch the dough, fold it into itself like this. I have a video for boiled dumplings. You can check that out. So you just roll it, make it into whatever shape you want. Okay. Typically it's something that looks like this, or we make something called spinners. You take the dough and you just roll it between your palms like this and drop it in the soup. So we'll get back to those later, okay? So I'm just checking on the cow skin here and see that it is getting softer and softer. If you need to pressure cook it a little bit longer, you can, all right? So just check on it to see if it is getting nice and tender. Once it's tender enough to suit you, then you are going to add it to the pot. So this is the pumpkin that was boiling with the beef bone and the carrot and everything. So you can add some more water because of course quite a bit has evaporated, right? So you can add some water or just add that liquid. So that liquid that was in the pressure cooker with the cow skin, you add it to this. So I'm just scooping out the cow skin here, and then I'm gonna pour off all the liquid because all that beef flavor is in there. So you don't want to discard that water. I just scoop it out sometimes so it doesn't splash all over me when I pour, okay? So that's the liquid from the pressure cooker and the cow skin I've added to this. And yes, you can add a little more water if needed. So at this point, you want to bring this up to a boil, but I want to let you know if you want your soup to be very rich, what you can do is scoop out some pumpkin and blend it in your magic bullet or a blender. So get a nice pumpkin puree there and then add it back to the pot, okay? And you can add as much of that pumpkin puree as you want. It depends on how thick you want your soup to be. And then check out the seasoning, guys. Scallion, some thyme, some pimento, whole Scotch bonnet peppers, and then the dry seasoning here. So you can use whatever brand you like. most Caribbean kitchens you'll find this kind of soup mix. So this is a pumpkin beef soup mix, and I also have the one that's just pumpkin, and they come with noodles inside. I do not like noodles in my soup. Okay, so I will use a strainer and I separate them, and then I have the seasoning. Add this to taste because it can be very salty. Okay, the yam and the potato and the dumplings are basically 95% cooked. Okay, so we are gonna add the seasoning. So fresh thyme, the scallion, all that good stuff that I showed you, we're gonna stir that in. And remember I said the dry seasoning, it's salty, so add it to taste. Don't just pour the whole pack in there and then you have to add water to the soup. Of course, you can use just one Scotch bonnet pepper if you want, but I like to use two because you get that flavor from the yellow one and then the heat from the green one, and it's just amazing. Okay, so stir in that seasoning. I think my fire was a bit too high here, guys, but you know, it all worked out fine. So stir in your seasoning, make sure you stir it properly so it doesn't clump up. As a matter of fact, if you want to, you can scoop out a little liquid and mix it with the seasoning on the side and then add it back to the pot if you want to. So guys, last minute I decided to add some corn. I don't know why I always forget that I have corn. So I added some corn here, and this doesn't take long to cook. So it's just gonna finish up along with everything else. And you see that beautiful rich color? That's what you get when you use a lot of pumpkin and when you puree some of it and add it back to the soup. Really nice. So we'll just allow that to simmer and then we will be good to go. Everything is cooked by now. We're just making sure the corn is cooked, and we want to make sure that all those flavors are nicely meshed together. That is it, guys. Simply amazing. And when it comes to cow skin, I find that it has its own flavor, but it's not super flavorful. So that is why I like to add some beef bones to the soup, or even a little piece of beef to it. And look at this, guys. So good. If you feel like your soup is too thick at this point, you can always add some boiling water and just stir things around, all right? And it will be good to go. Make sure you taste it. And as I said with those seasonings, the powdered ones, add them to taste, all right? But that's it. Look at this delicious pumpkin soup with cow skin. Now listen, if you don't want to do cow skin, you can always follow these steps and use regular cuts of beef. As a matter of fact, you could just do this without meat if you want to. It is absolutely delicious, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Tell me in the comment section if you've ever had cow foot soup, or if you've only had cow foot brown stew. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.